There are some amazing decorative stitch functions that can make sewing out these decorative stitches in your Bernina 880 so much more fun. So whether you're creating the ultimate stitch book, which is you sewing out all your decorative stitches, and we have links to those videos below in the description, but I want to show you what you can do for starting and stopping these decorative stitches. So you usually want to always start at the beginning of the pattern, and you usually want the pattern to end at the end. So I'm going to show you a couple tricks along the way. We've just started stitching out some decorative stitches, and we've been doing them in some variegated threads. So you can really see that they start to pop. They look so much better stitched out than you see on the screen. So as you pick a new stitch, so I'm just going to, let's just do 309 here. And I love using our start stop button just to get us so we don't have to hold our foot on the foot control. Touch and hold it till it starts stitching. And if it's going too fast, you can slow it down right here. So let me just do something real quick. I'm going to stop the machine right now. So the first function I want to talk about is what's called pattern begin. So if we've stitched a little bit of this pattern and we're within this sequence, it could be near the end, near the beginning, but we're not completed. So if you were to pull this out and need to kind of start back at the beginning of the pattern, this function only shows up right on the screen when you stop in the middle of the pattern. So let me actually, here, let's just do this so you can see what we're talking about. I'm going to cut my thread and let it lift up the foot so you can see I'm right in the middle of this sequence. So if I touch this right here, what it does is it puts the needle back to the beginning, right where it starts. So as I push the button to start again, I'm back at the beginning of the pattern. Now, as we usually get down to the end of a row of stitching or something that needs to kind of be completed, you have another option called pattern end. So it's that same kind of look of triangle, but this time the line is at the bottom, and it's the top one in the row, in the second row, right at your fingertips. So I'm going to just push this. It will light up. It's kind of got three little lights at the end. And so what this is doing is it finished the stitch, and then it actually is currently programmed to cut the thread and lift the foot. So here's what it looks like when you actually get a pattern to be completed at the end. It looks nice and finished. Now, let me show you something about this button. So you can actually program it to do different things. Tell you the truth, one thing it didn't do right now is lock it at the end. So let's go into our settings. Touch the picture of the gears. We'll go into the first area of our straight and zigzag location of functions. It is a button, so I am looking for where the hand is touching a button. And here is that button right here, the pattern end with those little lines. And you can see it's part of the front panel, so if you forget. So here's what is currently on when you got your machine. When you press the button, it is highlighted right now to cut at the end of the pattern and lift the foot. Look what's right above it. There's a locking stitch. So you actually turn that on if you want it to lock at the end of your pattern. And you can choose locking like a little cluster, or you can choose locking like it's going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, or 6 actually, 6 stitches kind of going forward. Little tiny ones, things that are very hard to come out. I will tell you a lot of people like that little cluster because wherever it ends is just going to kind of do the stitches all together. Let's go ahead and experience what that looks like this time when we end the pattern. So I'm going to let it stitch out a couple repeats, and then I'm going to sew this really slow so you can see what's going to happen. Let's push our pattern in this time, and then as it comes close to the end, you're going to notice, here it comes. Here comes those locking stitches and then the cut and the lift that we had earlier. Those stitches are really secure and you don't have to worry about your stitches coming loose. So I hope you'll notice that these 6 buttons are so important, but I realize so many people don't ever use them. So I hope you'll get in the habit of trying them out, learning what they do so you can use them to their fullest.